Smile of wavering darkness. That was annoying. Oh, I feel so powerful.
There we go. Let's equip the slightly weaker one. But yeah, that's a typo. One of these needs to be +2 alpha, or one of them needs to be +2 beta. So if anybody out there knows how to mod the game at this point, you should probably put a patch out for that.
I won't lose.
Come on, babe, I just want your lemon jar. I love that that mage just decided to run into melee range. You're only gonna die tired.
Pretty good for a dog. These are the threads that weave our
Ooh, that's actually a pretty decent skill. Cool. Yeah, so pretty much once we're done getting these skills, we'll go to Karabakram. We'll probably be able to do Helior today, like the first part of it, at least story-wise. There's not much to do there. Just listen to some dialogue. Do you have a good night's rest? Have a good day. But I could switch over to Carol now. Punishing Fang, Falling Leaf, Thievery, Crescent Dog. Oh, I see. Punishing Fang is well, it doesn't matter. Unless he learns his version of, like, Majinken or whatever.
Behind us! We can still overcome this!
So I need to, in case we're ever in a party together, Yuri, I need you to move up here, buddy. Hey, cut that out. He's so overpowered compared to all the other characters. Like, if he's in the party with you and you're not controlling him, you better hurry up and kill something because he's gonna get it for you.
That Bodhiblastia of yours. It's pretty, huh? That's not what I was gonna say.
Definitely has main character syndrome. Wherein, I say this a lot, but on these RPGs, not so much in Final Fantasy, I feel like everybody has the potential to be super powerful in those games. But in the Tales series, every main character has what I like to call main character syndrome. Like, they are just vastly stronger than almost any other member of your party.
Yeah.
Like, they combo better, or... Like, every character I've seen in this game that's a main character has had that syndrome. And it's like, I'm not complaining, obviously, because you need to have a really strong protagonist. In the Tales games, at least. Because most of the time, they're going to be up front taking all the hits and shit, so they need to be strong enough to be able to do that. Oh, hey. Are we gonna learn pudding yet? There we go.
This looks easy.
Hey, cut that out. Dang. I really need a new controller, man, but like, number one, they're expensive, and number two, all I have is cash. I don't have like a debit card. I could potentially buy myself one. I wish it wasn't so dog-eat-dog world in this fucking streaming business, man. Cause like people, like there's so many guides like just stream at a consistent time. Just do this, just do that. It's really not that simple, and it's probably because the goddamn market is flooded at this point. But it's like there are people who will only watch like one person, and if you don't have it, like there's no getting a chunk of someone else's audience. Like it's their audience for now until the end of time. So what you really have to do is get your own audience. And that's the tricky part, because especially if you're like me who plays a variety of games and does not play one game all day, every day. Because I would just, you know, hate playing games at that point if I was forced to play the same game all the time. But like that's one downside to this, is getting started, getting to a place where you can make a living off of it. Because it's like there are so many other options of people out there doing what you're doing every day. So the only thing that sets you apart from them is your personality, the way you talk to people, your looks, obviously, whether or not that you're using a face cam, which I am. Stop it, you bitch. And that is one thing that I can say is definitely a downside to this, is it takes a long time to get yourself established. And you have to be strong mentally, and at times I have been mentally weak. Where it's like, oh, it's so discouraging when nobody comes by. But you have to keep going, because eventually someone will pop in.
These are the threads that weave our future.
And you gotta diversify your portfolio, man. You gotta, like, you know what? I have a YouTube channel. Put all your archives up there. I'm not a fan, personally, of putting up giant 3-hour chunks of things, so I take the time to put them into bite-sized chunks, because the attention span of people nowadays is just not there. You know, they've grown up in a system where information is instant for them, so anything that requires long periods of waiting or long periods of time in general, they just don't have the mental capacity for it anymore, which is the downside to technology, believe it or not, because there are downsides to everything, just like there's upsides to everything. And the downside of technology and having everything at the snap of a finger is people no longer can wait for things. Like, they're antsy, they need to have things now, and they don't like to, you know, I was gonna say they don't like to wait for things, but that's redundant. Like, they need to have things right away, and they don't have the patience for it anymore.
I won't lose.
And it's like, so asking someone to sit through a 3-hour chunk, they have to be a really dedicated person to do that, in my opinion. And there are people who will do it. I've seen, you know, decently sized
Your hand.
channels. I mean, they're way bigger than mine, at the very least. You know, who put up 3-hour chunks of things, and there are people who sit down and watch them, but it's like, I'll look at them and it's like, if it's something that I'm going to have on as background noise, then yeah, I think a 3-hour chunk of something is acceptable.
I'm gonna make
But
you
like,
work.
with a game like this where you're watching it to like watch the fights, you're watching it to watch the story. You know, especially if it's a first playthrough, which this is for me. This is a first playthrough of the definitive edition. So I'm going to listen to all the dialogue, I'm going to watch all the skits. The chances are, New Game Plus, I'm not going to do that, and it has to be my commentary from there on after that carries it. So that's why my commentary is kind of sparse, you know, is because I can rely on the game to fill in the gaps, because I'm letting the game fill in the gaps. But, you know, when I too also, you know, it's not that I have a short attention span, but something has to keep my attention, or something has to be, you know, interesting enough for me to want to continue to let it play or whatever. Unless, again, it's background noise and I don't really need to pay attention to it. But from then on, it's just like, then I have to let my commentary pave the way. Yeah, I know those bitches are targeting me. Man, what is the timing on that? It's so hard to get. But that's where, you know, it was a long-winded rant to talk about why I don't have a controller, is because I don't have a fucking... I had a bank account, but, you know... Student loans and a card, like, you know, a credit card that didn't get paid off.